Okay, well, good afternoon. We welcome you to Estes Field on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, March the 2nd. And of course, got some beautiful Dodger blue skies outside Estes Field. It's the conference opener for the Central Methodist baseball team taking on Graceland. Quentin Norris here singing the catbird seats. Central Methodist, they are 11-3 on the year. Graceland is 8-5 on the year. Central Methodist this past Sunday, they split a doubleheader there. They lost in the game one to Oklahoma City by a score of 6-4. And then they came back to defeat Columbia College 22-1. In that game on that Sunday, they scored 10 runs in the third and then 9 more in the fourth inning there for that 22-1 victory there as well. For Graceland, this Sunday they defeated Dickinson State 16-3. If you look at the numbers there for Central Methodist, their leading hitter is Carlos Legrand, a 525 hitter, 9 homers, 23 RBIs. Of course, I had a great visit with Carlos Legrand there right before the pregame show. Leading the way for Graceland is Trevor Yorgies, a 400 hitter, homer, 7 RBIs. Pitching wise, it is Landon Winningham for Central Methodist, 0-0, 2.25 ERA, no walks and 3 strikeouts. For Graceland, that's Stephen Eskridge, 0-1, 1.13 ERA, 1 walk, 15 strikeouts. Of course, some sports action going on there. A fun sports Saturday, of course, not only with baseball. 2 o'clock, it's the NHL game of the week on ABC television. It's the Florida Panthers take on the Detroit Red Wings there. Both teams trying to make a run for the Stanley Cup playoffs starting a little over about a month and maybe 17 days from now. Of course, pregame show at 1:30 p.m. Face-off time at the drop of the puck about 2:15 p.m. Of course, hosted by Steve Levy, Mark Messier, PK, and Subban, along with AJ Malesko. And, of course, Central Methodist softball at 2:30 p.m. They'll take on William Carey. They were originally scheduled to play Tennessee Southern and Lindsey Wilson, but both games got canceled due to the rain. But according to Thomas Brent, they said the weather is better down in Gulf Shores there. So we'll hopefully give you an update on that game as well. Of course, game 2 of that doubleheader is at 3:30. Then Central Methodist softball takes on Houston Victoria at 4:45 p.m. around the 5 o'clock hour there as well. Of course, the Central Methodist women's basketball season came to a close, losing to Clark 80-67, finishing the year 13-16. Central Methodist men's basketball team, they lost to Peru State on that Tuesday night, 76-78, finishing the year 19-10 on the year as well. Of course, national tournament, their opening round game will start in 13 days. They as well. We're going to go ahead and give you today's starting lineups there. First for the Graceland Yellow Jackets. It is sponsored by Casey's. Leading off and playing right field, it is Keith Whitaker. Batting second is their second baseman, Jacob Lopez. Batting third is their shortstop, Zach Tanabe. Batting fourth is in left field, Elo Navarez. Batting fifth, their third baseman is J.D. Woodward. Batting sixth is their first baseman, Trevor Yorgies. Batting seventh, their designated hitter, Randy Diaz. Batting eighth, their catcher, Juan Guzman. Batting sixth and batting ninth and playing center field, William Pagan. And today's starting pitcher for Graceland is Mason Krogasgar. Their head coach for Graceland, Brady McKillop, assisted by Brady Payne. They're 8-5 on the year, and their first conference game of the year for your Central Methodist Eagles. Leading off and playing center field is number 5, Bobby Nichols. Batting second baseman is number 7, Valentin Serna Jr. Batting third, the catcher is Tanner Sears. Batting fourth, right fielder Carlos Negron. Batting fifth, their designated hitter Jeremy Conforte. Batting fifth, batting in the number 6 spot, third baseman Diego Dioran. Batting seventh, left fielder Zeb Weedy. Batting eighth, their first baseman Joseph Weatherford. Batting ninth, their shortstop is David Soriano. And there is Sebastian Escobar, today's starting pitcher there. So we got Nichols, Verna, Sears, Negron, Caporti, Duran, Weedy, Weatherford, Serrano, and Escobar, today's starting pitcher as well. Good crowd starting to file in there. Just a beautiful day, around 65 degrees or so. Winds blowing about 25 miles an hour. So, should be a beautiful day there. Of course, this is the first of 4. They'll have game 2 for you about 3:30 this afternoon. Games 3 and 4. First game will be at high noon. And then the second game to follow around the 2:30 hour there as well on CMUEagles.com and, of course, the Heart Conference Network there. Both teams are warming up there. Quentin Norris here today. Glad to have you with us. Both teams are warming up there out in the outfield there. It's a great day for baseball.
For you. With CMU, you can learn on our beautiful campus in Fayette, Missouri, earn a degree completely online, or attend classes at one of our many statewide sites. Whichever path you choose, you will get a quality education that will prepare you for the future you envision. Select one of our programs of distinction in music, biology, or nursing, or choose from more than 60 degree options offered at the undergraduate and graduate levels. And if you decide to join us on campus, you will be able to take advantage of all the university has to offer, including dozens of clubs and organizations, a robust student life, and top-notch NAIA athletics. Discover what makes us different and how a degree from CMU can prepare you for the future. Discover Central Methodist University today.
We're back here at Estes Field. I also want to give a shout out to a couple of high school teams heading to the state Final Four. First one is Cairo Lady Bearcats. They won their Class 1 state quarterfinals over Meadville there. They're out to the Final Four there as well. Of course, I remember Cairo a number of years. I remember when they used to be when they were in the Glasgow tournament. They've been one of the best teams in the Central Activities Conference there. And also, the Centralia Lady Panthers, they're also headed to the Class 3 Final Four as well. Also, I think the boys' state quarterfinals is today. And I think at 1 o'clock, I think Salisbury is in there as well. They're playing at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And see Nate Breland, and their head coach for Graceland is Brady McKillop. They're exchanging the lineup cards along with the umpiring crew. That looks like umpires are out there trying to go over the few ground rules and everything else, and probably just having a friendly conversation. Usually, a lot of times when you have two managers talking, one of the things they like to ask is, what's your golf score? And I remember the first time I learned that, I remember several years ago, I was watching a pregame show on the MSG network with Al Trotwig. And they were talking to one of the people they talked to was a American League umpire. So I got to listen in on that one there as well. Central Methodist and Graceland going at it there. I see one of the parents there just waved at me in the press box. Glad to have you with us there as well. Just a great afternoon of baseball. We're about Today is the second day of meteorological spring. The first day of spring comes in 17 days. Graceland are in the gold uniform. Looks like the Slater gold uniform with the navy trim and the navy numerals. Central Methodist in the white uniform, green trim, green numerals. Birds on the bats. Maybe that'd be something I'd like to see Coach Breland have. Maybe one of those games where the Central Methodist will be wearing the white uniforms or the green ones with the birds on the bats, like the St. Louis Cardinals uniforms there. There you see both teams shaking hands, exchange all the pleasantries. And I think we'll go ahead and give you today's starting lineup. I think Tim Crowley is doing the PA announcing for today's starting lineups. It is sponsored by Home Oil. Got the starting lineups, national anthem. We'll go ahead and set the defense for you. It is sponsored by the Exchange Bank of Missouri. Located in Fayette, New Franklin, Fulton, Slater, Marshall. Out in left field, there is Zeb Weedy. In center field, Bobby Nichols. In right field, Carlos Legrand. In the infield, Diego Duran at third. David Soriano, shortstop. Carl Valentin Cerna Jr. at second base. Joseph Weatherford at first base. Tanner Sears the catcher. And that's Sebastian Escobar. Today's starting pitcher, 4-0 with an ERA of 3, 9 walks, 28 strikeouts on the year. From Monterrey, Colombia. Has the fastball, the curveball, the slider. You name everything, he has it working there. Of course, to give you the lineups there. First, for Graceland, that's Keith Whitaker in right. That's Jacob Lopez the second. That is Zach Tanabe at shortstop. That is Elo Navarez in left. That is their J.D. Woodward at third. Trevor Yorgis at first base. Randy Diaz DH. And that is Juan Guzman, their catcher. And then the shortstop, William Pagan. Glad to have you with us there on this beautiful Saturday afternoon there. Whole team's warming up there. Escobar gets his final warm-up tosses. Tanner Sears will fire it down the second. And we should be getting started on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And as the great Vin Scully used to say on the Dodgers television network, and also on the radio, and of course NBC television, let's pull up a chair then. And numerous times during the NFL and, of course, the Masters Golf Championships. As Keith Whitaker at the batter. 250 hitter, no homers, 2 RBIs on a swing and a miss. First pitch came at 12:59 p.m. Temperature 65 degrees. The time and temperature is sponsored by The Parking Spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The Parking Spot at Kansas City International Airport. The 0-1 pitch. Hits the ground ball to Soriano. Plays it on the hop to Joseph Weatherford. And there's out number one. So one out now for Jacob Lopez. 345 hitter, no homers, 5 RBIs from Altamira, California, around the Los Angeles area. Not that far from 1000 Vin Scully Drive, which is the address for Dodger Stadium. Escobar getting the sign from Sears. Here's your pitch. That's a bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 to count. 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. A swing and a miss on the curveball. 1-1 now. On Jacob Lopez for Keith Whitaker. He is from Vallejo, California. Oh, nice pitch on the outside corner. 1-2 the count there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. A swing and a miss on the curveball. 2 quick outs now. Here's Zach Tanabe. 286 hitter, a homer and Tavi, homer 9 RBIs from Wailopulu, Hawaii. Around the Honolulu area, the most famous TV show that ever took place. 2 of the best ones. One of them was Hawaii Five-0. They had a guy named Jack Lord. A strike call. The other one was a television show back in the 80s called Fantasy Island. They had a gentleman named Ricardo Montalban. Strike 2 there. And his buddy was Tattoo, who used to ring the bell at the beginning of the show. 0-2 pitch. That's a bit outside. 1-2 the count there. I remember watching Hawaii 5-0, and I remember the best time I remember watching Fantasy Island used to come on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock after the Love Boat. 1-2 pitch. It's a high pop foul. That may go out of play. Sears is calling for it. He has to play, and a 1-2-3 inning goes Graceland. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Graceland nothing. Central Methodist coming to bat. We're going to set the defense for you for Graceland. It is sponsored by Emmett's Kitchen and Tap. Elo Navarez is in left. That is their center fielder, William Pagan, in right field. Keith Whitaker down at third base there. J.D. Woodruff. There's shortstop is Zach Tanabe. Second baseman, Jacob Lopez. The first baseman, Trevor Yorgis. Their catcher's Juan Guzman. And today's starting pacer is Mason Krogsgar from Tillamook, California. He is 1-1, 5.170 ERA, 2 walks, and 17 strikeouts there. We'll go ahead and give you the lineups for Central Methodist. That's Bobby Nichols in center. Valentin Sterner Jr. is at second. Tanner Sears, the catcher. Carlos DeGrons in right. Jeremy Confortis, the DH. Diego De Oren is third. Zab Whitby is in left. Joseph Weatherford is at first base. And David Soriano is there. Of course, Bobby Nichols had a great visit with him before the pregame show. Of course, I remember him just about a month ago. I got to meet him there when a guy named Ozzie Smith came to town. And I tell you, he did a great job there talking to Ozzie Smith. It was a fun evening, a great crowd on hand. It was just a fun evening. I want to say hi to his mom and dad. That's Mike and of course, his mom, Nicole, and his aunt, Gina, from Detroit, Michigan. Of course, several years ago, if you go to a town in the Detroit area called Pontiac, that was the site of Super Bowl 16. And that was played at the Detroit Silverdome, the Pontiac Silverdome. 391 hitter, 3 homers, 9 RBIs for Bobby Nichols. The infield in the corner, they're anticipating a bunt. First pitch. That's a bit high. 1-0 to count there. Of course, home of the Detroit Tigers. 40 years ago, they won the World Series in 5 games with the San Diego Padres. That year, they started out 35-5. And one of those was when Jack Morris threw a no-hitter against the Chicago White Sox. That happened to be 40 years ago in 1 month and 5 days. And I remember that. I remember watching that on NBC television, where both Vin Scully and Joe Garagio dressed like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. And I remember that real well. That's outside 2-1 to count there. Detroit had some great players, and a lot of them came from that draft class of like 1970s, the mid-70s. They had Lance Parrish, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, Jack Morris. 2-1 pitch. It's a ground ball to third. Knocks it down. Has time, and that will be an error on the third baseman. No question about it. And now here's Valentin Sterner Jr., a 300 hit, a 500 hitter. 1 homer, 11 RBIs. I believe that's an error on the third. Can they check on that? Valentin Sterner Jr. from Ingleside, Illinois, around the Chicago area. Nichols at first, anticipating a bunt and a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Nichols at first, on the error by the third baseman. Sears on deck. The 0-1. It's a high fly ball in the left field. That is hooking. That's slicing it foul. That's a strike 2 call there. No balls and 2 strikes on Valentin Sterner Jr. Oh, 0-2 the count on Valentin Sterner Jr. Nichols at first. On the error. They're going to check on Bobby Nichols. Oh, 1-2 the count on Valentin Sterner Jr. Homer and 11 RBIs. The 0-2 pitch is a high fly ball in the center field. There is a base hit there. So Nichols at second. At first is Valentin Cerner Jr. And here's Tanner Sears. 326 hitter, 4 homers, 20 RBIs. From Higginsville, Missouri. Of course, there's his mom, Shelly, his dad, Kurt. His grandmother is Connie. And also, another thing I've learned, one of my friends' son is a classmate of Tanner Sears. His name is Gage Wetland. His mother is Carrie. They live in Higginsville. On a ground ball to third. He'll step on third for the force out. So 1 out now. And at first and second there is Cerna Jr. second. Sears on the fielder's choice. And now the courtesy runner there. Trey Warwald from Mantina, Illinois. And here's Carlos Legrand, a 525 hitter, 9 homers, 23 RBIs. Leads the team in homers and RBIs. Had a great visit with Carlos Legrand. He is from a town of Puerto Rico, Corozal, Puerto Rico, about 45 miles from San Juan, home of Roberto Clemente. That's a ball outside. 1-0 to count. On deck is Jeremy Conforte. 1 ball, no strikes on Carlos Legrand. Valentin Cerner Jr.'s at second. Vorwal's at first. A swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1-1 to count there. One and one to count on Carlos Legrand. The 1-1. Slices that one fouled. 1-2 there. 1-2 to count. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So 2 outs now for Jeremy Conforte. A 235 hitter, 1 homer, 7 RBIs. He is from Villa Park, Illinois, around the Chicago area. Home of the Chicago Cubs. Also the Chicago White Sox. Of course, they're starting their spring training. Of course, got a little bit on the MLB Network between the Cubs and the White Sox. That's a ball outside. I also want to give a shout out to another gentleman working for the White Sox named Steve Stone, who I remember several years ago used to do the Cubs game on WGN television with a guy named Harry Carey. The 1-0 pitch. That kind of gets away from there. Here's Valentin Cerner Jr. the third. He is in there. That will be a pass ball. Taking second is Vorwald. And the count is 2-0 to count. You wonder if Jeremy Conforti has the green light from head coach Nick Breland. That's Trey Rosenfloss coaching at first base. Base hit can bring you 2. The 2-0 pitch. Hits a high slicing foul ball hitting toward the Graceland bullpen area. And the count is 2-1. On Jeremy Conforti with Diego Dioren on deck. Glad to have you with us. Boy, it feels like I'm on NBC Television's Game of the Week with Vin Scully and Joe Garagiola. Back then it was Tony Kubek and Kurt Gowdy. There's a high fly ball in the right center field. That's going back, and it's off the wall. Vorwald will score. Cerna Jr. will score. It's a 2-bagger for Jeremy Conforti and a 2-0 lead for Central Methodist. As Joe Garagiola would say on television, that is called going with the pitch. So 9 RBIs on the year for Jeremy Conforti. And here's Diego Dioren, 308 hitter, no homers, 8 RBIs from Valencia, Venezuela. So 2 hits now for Central Methodist. One error for Graceland. The pitch to him. That is a strike call on the outside corner. A lot of the great ones came from Venezuela, most notably Luis Aparicio, the 1959 American League Rookie of the Year with the Chicago White Sox. That year they won the pennant, the 0-1. 1-1 to count, and later he was the starting shortstop in the 1971 All-Star Game with the Boston Red Sox. And of course, he was known for throwing out Willie Mays at first base. Conforti's at second, the 1-1. Hits a high fly ball in the left field. Foul. 1-2 to count there. Zeb Wheaties on deck. One and two to count on Diego Diarin. 2-0 Central Methodist. 2 hits already. Hits a ground ball to the second baseman. Goes over the first for the third out. So 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 error. 1 left. We are through 1. Central Methodist 2. Graceland nothing on the Conference Network.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Should be 2 hits for us. Two runs, 2 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits and error for Graceland there. Of course, in about 46 minutes, we got the NHL game between Florida and Detroit from Little Caesars Arena. Of course, pregame show with host Steve Levy, PK Subban, and of course, Mark Messier. Elio Navarez is a .348 hitter, 2 homers, 11 RBIs from Maracay, Venezuela. The first pitch. Oh, there is a strike call. 0-1 now. No balls and 1 strike. The 0-1 pitch. Nice job of framing it, as Joe Garagiola used to say down on NBC television. But it's a ball. 1-1 now. And along with Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek. The 1-1. Oh, nice job of framing it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count from on Elio Navarez. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. 1 out now. And here is J.D. Woodruff. .276 homer, no homers, 2 RBIs. He is from Crosby, Texas. Around the Dallas area. That's where the original Dallas show took place back in the 70s when they had a guy named Larry Hagman who played J.R. Ewing. They were in the oil business. 0-1 the count. I remember that show used to come on 8 o'clock on a Friday night. No balls and 1 strike, the 0-1. Oh, there's the curveball missed. 1-1 to count. Trevor Yorgis is on deck. 1-1 to count from Sebastian Escobar. Here's your 1-1 pitch. Hits the ground ball. Nice stop by Weather. Here's Escobar. Beautiful play. Or as Kathy Lee Crosby would say on Datsun would say, that's incredible. Here's Trevor Yorgis, a 400 hitter, 1 homer, 7 RBIs. From Lincoln, Nebraska, home of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. 2 quick outs and the pitch to him. Hits the fly ball. I think Nichols has some room. He should make the catch on another 1, 2, 3 inning. Goes Graceland. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one let on. We go to the bottom of the second. Central Methodist 2, Graceland nothing on the Hart Conference Network. Two runs, 2 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and an error for Graceland as Zeb Weedy comes to bat. A 302 hitter, 1 homer, 9 RBIs from Harrisburg, Missouri. Just a little bit west of Fayette on Highway 124. I'd like to say hi to their athletic director named Steve Combs. That's a ball outside there. Always Harrisburg. Boys and girls basketball teams combined have won 4 state championships. 1-0 the count. Of course, one of the players on the 2003 team, I think it was Kyle Fisher. I think it was on the 2016 when they won their second one. Of course, he is their boys coach there. I remember some of the great ones came from Harrisburg. Leanne Fossum, Ashley Fisher, 2-1 the count. I remember they used to play basketball at Columbia College. 2-1 the count. 2-1 pitch. Oh, it kind of gets away there. 3-1 the count. 3 balls and a strike there. You see Shelly Sears taking the pictures there on the camera. Sporting that Polaroid camera. 3-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball there into maybe straightaway center field. Looks like center field calls for it. And there's out number 1. 1 out now for Joseph Weatherford. A 189 hitter, homer, and 4 RBIs. He is from Flower Mound, Texas on the program. But according to his dad, Steve, who is listening in, they live in Batesville, Arkansas. And, of course, I remember having a great visit with Steve Weatherford this past Sunday. That's a bet outside, 1-0 to count. And I'd like to say hi to Steve Weatherford. Steve, if you're listening in, I want to say hi to you, buddy. Along with his mom, Gayla. The 1-0. That's a strike call on the outside corner. 1-1 now on Joseph Weatherford. 1-1 to count. 1 out in the bottom of the second inning. The 1-1. That's a bit inside. 2-1 now with David Soriano on deck. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 the count. Three and one the count. 3-1 pitch. Hits a slices that one. Foul heading toward the Graceland bus. Oh, that went right in front of the bus there. And also in between the Clampett truck. No, it did not. 3-2 pitch. Hits a little ground ball to first. First baseman has it, and there's 2 quick outs. So 2 outs now for David Soriano, a 241 hitter. 1 homer, 4 RBIs from San Domingo, Dominican Republic. Soriano, left-handed hitter. Of course, last week he was sporting those pink gloves. I was looking forward to seeing those pink gloves there. There's a ground ball there. Second baseman has it, and there's the third out. A 1-2-3 inning goes Central Methodist. We are through 2. Central Methodist 2, Graceland nothing on the Heart Conference Network. Look. Six, 9. Two runs, 2 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. No runs, no hits, and error for Graceland as Randy Diaz up there. 346 hitter. No homers, 1 RBI from the Bronx. The Bronx, New York. Home of the New York Yankees. 27-time World Series champion. I want to say hi to their announcer, Michael Kay. Looking forward to hearing him on the Yes Network and, of course, the MLB Network. Along with their other announcer, David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. 1-0 the count there. The 1-0 pitch. The swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1-1 the count there. On Randy Diaz. Escobar's got the first 6 outs recorded. The 1-1. Fouls it off. 1-2. On deck is Juan Guzman. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout of the day for Sebastian Escobar. And there's 1 out now for Juan Guzman, a 100 hitter, no homers, 3 RBIs. And the pitch to him. Fouls it off, strike 1. He's got the first 7 outs recorded. No balls and 1 strike. William Pagan on deck. The 0-1 now. Misses that one. 1-1 the count on Juan Guzman. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2 there. 1-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. Ball 3, 3-2 to count. 3-2 the count on Juan Guzman. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. First base runner of the game for Graceland. Here's William Pagan from Carolina, Puerto Rico. 333 hitter, no homers, 2 RBIs. So runner at first. Escobar needs to settle down, talk to the baseball, point to Tanner Sears. So a courtesy runner for Graceland, Antonio Graham from Independence, Missouri, the Kansas City area. That's a ball, 1-0 to count there on William Pagan. 2-0 Central Methodist. At first base is Guzman. He drew a walk. The 1-0. A swing and a miss, 1-1 there. As Kurt Gowdy would say, Escobar was reaching back for something extra. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. They throw over there. And back goes Juan Guzman. 1-1 the count on William Pagan. 1-1 pitch. A swing and a miss. 1-2 now. Maybe talking to the baseball is always the best solution. Just like Mark DeVert Fidrys used to do that a lot for the Detroit Tigers. Most notably on ABC's Monday Night Baseball. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So 2 outs now. Here's Keith Whitaker. He grounded out to David Soriano his first time up. So Escobar has 2 outs. Guzman, actually it is their courtesy runner, Graham at first. Antonio Graham. They throw over there. And on deck is Jacob Lopez for Graceland. The first pitch to him. That's a ball, 1-0 to count there. On Keith Whitaker. Escobar just needs to settle down, talk to the baseball, point to the catcher. The 1-0. Slices that one foul, heading toward the parking lots. If it was Yankee Stadium, they would have the gong rang. They will ring the gong. 1-1 to count. They check on the runner. And back goes Antonio Graham. Softball team should be getting started about 2:30. Hope they're surviving the weather. Strike 1-2. Basically, just do like Leo DeRocher used to do. Just dodge and duck the weather. And hopefully, my other friendly advice is, please watch out for Yogi Bear. Because he likes to steal picnic baskets. 1-2 count. There's a 1-2 pitch. Nice stop there. And a stolen base there. First time Graceland has a runner at second. So 2-2 to count. 2's across the board there on Keith Whitaker. Of course, Central Methodist softball, they'll play 2 more tomorrow against Texas A&M, Texarkana at 9 a.m. And then they added a schedule with Central Baptist at 11:15 down at Gulf Shores. A slicer in the left center field. Guzman's rounding third. He will score the throw to second. Not in time. A double for Keith Whitaker. And it's 2-1 now. And for Keith Whitaker, that's his 3rd RBI of the year. Jacob Lopez struck out his first time up. First hit of the game for Graceland. 1 hit apiece. One run. There you go. The first pitch. A swing and a miss. Strike one. 0-1 to count there. Zach Tanneby on deck. The 0-1. Fouls it off. Strike two. Oh, 2 the count on Jacob Lopez. 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. Swing and a miss. So 1 run on 1 hit. No errors. 1 left. We head to the bottom of the third. Central Methodist 2, Graceland 1. How you like me now? Two runs, 2 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 1 run, 1 hit, and error. As Bobby Nichols up there. He reached on error his first time. But like I said, I like to say to his parents, Mike and Nicole Nichols from Detroit. The most famous TV show I ever watched was Home Improvement with Tim Allen. Hosted Tool Time, played Tim the Tool Man Taylor. His sidekick was Al Borland. It's a ground ball up the middle. There's a base hit there. I remember one time Al Borland struck out on Tool Time. Valentin Cerner Jr., he singled to center field his first time up. So Nichols at first. If he has good speed, if Valentin Jr. can hit one into the deepest part of left field, deepest part of right, or into the gaps around between center and right, that could score Nichols. Third hit of the game for Central Methodist. And there's a base hit up the middle. Keep the line moving. That's the 4th hit of the game. That's kind of like the beginning of the Laverne and Shirley show where they kept the line moving. There's Tanner Sears. He reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. 4 hits for Central Methodist. Nichols at second. Valentin Cerner Jr. is at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the third. 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. First pitch to him. It's a high pop foul. Strike one. Carlos Legrand on deck. On 1 to count on Tanner Sears from Higginsville. Home of the Higginsville Huskers. Longtime member of the Missouri River Valley Conference. 1-1 to count. I remember their long rivals. I remember their boys basketball team back in 1995 won a district championship. Even played a state sectional game at Central Methodist against Fatima. 1-1 pitch. That is a strike call. 1-2 the count there on Tanner Sears. Legrand on deck. One-two pitch. That's outside. 2-2 to count. Legrand on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bottom of the third. 2-1 lead for Central Methodist. Base hit could score Nichols. 2-1 pitch. 3-2 to count. They're trying to pitch around Tanner Sears. They're worried that a base hit could score Nichols. There's nobody out. 2-1 to count. First of 2 games today. Or as Ernie Banks say, let's play 2. Ball 4 now. Now the bases are loaded full of Eagles. And here's Carlos Legrand. He struck out his first time up. Trey Vorwald is the courtesy runner. First pitch to him. It's a high fly ball in the right field. Right fielder has room to make the catch. But here comes Bobby Nichols in the score. And hit at the third is Valentin Cerner Jr. to score the 3rd run there on a sac fly to right field. And RBI for Carlos Legrand gives it number 24 on the year. And a 3-1 lead for Central Methodist. Jeremy Conforti up there. He singled. Let's see, Conforti doubled and drove in 2 runs his first time up. First and third, Valentin Cerner Jr. is at third. At first base, Trey Vorwald. He is the courtesy runner for Tanner Sears. The first pitch to him. That's a ball. 1-0 to count. On deck is Diego De La Ren. 1-0 to count. Their infield is in at the corners, infield at the middle, at normal depth, anticipating a double play ball. 1-0 to count. They're going to throw over there. Or you wonder if they may try the old double steal trick. The last player ever stole home in the World Series, the great Tim McCarver, did that in Game 7 of the 1964 World Series. The best one that ever stole home, probably be the great Jackie Robinson. It's a slicing shot into right field. That is a base hit there. Serentine Jr. will score. Vorwald will stop at third. It's a double for Conforti. 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. And he has 10 RBIs on the season and a 4-1 lead for Central Methodist. Here's Diego Doreen. There's those pink gloves he is sporting. Hopefully he saves one for me next year when I turn 50. So, Diego, if you have an opportunity, please save me one of those for my 50th birthday. Second and third, 1F, and the pitch to him. That's a ball outside there. He grounded out the second his first time up. 4-1 lead for Central Methodist. 5 hits already. Vorwald's at third. Conforti's at second. The 1-0 pitch. Slices a base hit. Vorwald will score. Here comes Conforti. He scores. 6-1 Central Methodist. A single, 2 RBIs. Takes second on the throw home. 6-1 Central Methodist. So now it looks like a little conference action. We'll take you with you there. Central Methodist 6, Graceland 1. 10 Army. And no error on the play. 6-1's our score. I smell some hot dogs there. Over at the concession stand. Zeb Whitty flew out to center field his first time up there. About 19 minutes, got the NHL game between the Florida Panthers and the Detroit Red Wings. Runner at second is Deal Wren. And that's a ball, 1-0 to count. The seventh man to bat this inning. Weatherford's on deck. 6-1 now. 4 big runs. The 1-0. Ball 2, 2-0 to count. 4 hits this inning. Nichols started off with the single. The center field. 2-0 to count on Zeb Weedy. 1 out now. There's a strike call. 2-1 to count. Now came on the sac fly by Carlos Negron, who has a total of 24. 2-1 to count. Joey Sears having fun with the camera, with the Polaroid camera. Here's a ground ball. There's a base hit there. They're going to hold the run at third, and it's first and third now. And Joseph Weatherford, who grounded out the first base his first time up. Weatherford singled his first time, grounded the first his first time up. So at third is Dealer Wren. At first base is Weedy. First pitch to him. Did he go? Yes, sir, he did. Strike 1. 8th man to bat. David Soriano is on deck. 0-1 to count. 6-1 lead for Central Methodist. Got 2 in the first. Now they add 4 more in the third. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. 1-1 to count. One and one is the count. A line ground ball to the pitcher. Throws the second for 1. The first, there's the double play. A 1-4-3 double play. So 4 runs on 5 hits. No errors.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
I cannot believe it. Nothing new, really. Oh, sure. I'll have to. Yeah. Been pretty busy guy. Well, 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 1 run, a hit, and an error for Graceland. Of course, Central Methodist got 4 runs, 5 hits, and they left 1. That is Zach Tanabe, who popped out to Tanner Sears his first time up. The first pitch. It's a foul ball, strike 1 there. 0-1 to count. Going pretty good. Yeah. 0-1 now. It's a high pop up there. See who calls for it. I bet that's Weatherford. And there's out number 1. 1 out now for Elo Navarez. He struck out his first time up. Not too bad. The first pitch. Tries to bunt and a strike call. I thought maybe you do like what Maury Wills used to do for the Dodgers. Used to route and bunt. 0-1 to count. Oh, 1 pitch. Ball 1-1 now. Oh, there. 1-1 to count. 1-1 pitch. Slices that one foul. 1-2. It looks like that Central Methodist women's basketball player Jeanette Maratu getting ready at the ball game. Quentin Norris here. 1-2 pitch. That's a ball. 2-2. 2-2 to count. Is that? J.D. Woodruff is on deck. 2-2 pitch. Chops it foul. 2-2. Yeah. Oh. 2-2 to count there. Even though the scoreboard says 3-2, but I think it's 2-2 according to my scorebook. Now they got it right. 2-2 pitch. Cue shot off of Escobar. Has time to throw. Not in time. That'll be a base hit all the way. No question about it. Now they're going to check to see if he's okay or not. Now it looks like training staff are going to check on Sebastian Escobar, making sure he's okay. Looks like around the foot area he got, when they hit the grounder, it looked like they struck him on the foot. Yeah. So J.D. Woodruff, he grounded out to Joseph Weatherford and then threw over to Sebastian Escobar for the second out of the second inning. Navarro's at first with 1 out. Hits a little ground ball. They'll go to second for 1. The first, not in time. They'll get the force out at second and the fielder's choice. So 2 outs now for Trevor Yorgis. He flew out to Bobby Nichols his first time up. Yorgis from Lincoln, Nebraska. Wants a new baseball. I think that is good. Not much. First pitch. That's a bit high. I want to know the can. One ball, no strikes. 2 hits for Graceland. 7 hits for Central Methodist, but leads 6-1. Strike 1. 1-1 to count there. How about 1-1 to count there. 1-1 pitch. They check on the runner. I think they got him. Oh! If he would have thrown it to the middle part of first base, I think they would have gotten J.D. Woodruff picked off. But he more threw it to the first base side of it. 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Cues it to the screen. 2-2 there. If Harry Carey was there, he would have had his net. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On Trevor Yorgies with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. A little chopper, foul. Two and two the count on Trevor Yorgies. At first base, J.D. Woodford reached on the fielder's choice. Top of the 4th inning, 6-1 lead for Central Methodist. 2-2 pitch. Oh, that's outside. 3-2 the count. And on deck is Randy Diaz. 3-2 the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 call. So no runs. 1 hit. No errors. 1 left. We're halfway home. Central Methodist 6. Graceland 1 on the Heart Conference Network. 6-1. Oh, it's going good. No, I think last. Oh, yeah. Not too much. Did I tell you the fun story. Oh, he's good. Oh, yeah. Oops. Oh, stepped on the. Mm-hmm. A lot different. Is that right? Oh, I see. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors for 1 error for Graceland. As David Soriano up there, he grounded out to second base his first time up. Oh, it's Tatum. First pitch. That's a ball, 1-0 to count. Oh, yeah. 1 ball, no strikes on David Soriano. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 to count there on David Soriano. Oh. 2-0 to count on David Soriano. Bobby Nichols to follow. Oh, was that 2-0 pitch? Hits the ground ball. There's a base hit for Soriano. That's the 8th hit of the game for Central Methodist. There's Bobby Nichols, 1 for 2 with a single. Reached on air, scored 1 of the runs. Scored that 1 in the third, part of that 4-run third. 8 hits already for Central Methodist. First pitch to him. Tries the bunt. Bunts in. Oh, it hits the ground there. Catcher lost it. And I have a feeling that's going to be an error. Let's see how they're going to score it there. I bet Tim Crowley will help me out there. It's a hit then. So 9 hits for Central Methodist for Valentin Cerna Jr. 2 for 2 with 2 singles. 9 hits now for Central Methodist. First pitch to him. That's a strike. 0-1 to count with Sears on deck. Oh, no. About 3.5 minutes. It's Florida and Detroit. NHL game. The 1-0. 0-1 is inside. 1-1 now. Oh, yeah. What there? It's going. 1-1 to count. 1-1 pitch. Slices that one foul. 1-2. I think it hit a car there. But I did not hear the car alarm go off. 1-2 to count on Valentin Cerna Jr. Nichols at first. Soriano's at second. Nobody out. On with the fourth. 1-2 pitch. That's another foul ball. One and two to count on Valentin Cerna Jr. 1-2 pitch. Little cue shot. They'll throw over the first. That ball gets dropped. Soriano will score to make it 7-1. And in the third is Nichols. That'll be an error and RBI. I bet it'll be an error on the first baseman, I do believe. 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice. Also drew a walk in the fourth. Cerna Nichols at third. Valentin Cerna Jr. No RBIs recorded. First. Foul ball, strike one. 0-1 to count on Tanner Sears. 20 RBIs. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Oh, yeah. 0-2 the count on Tanner Sears. Oh-2 pitch. That's a ball. 1-2 there. 1-2 to count. 1-2. All right. 1-2. 7-1 now. The 1-2 pitch. Hits a little chopper to third. Oh, it gets by the third base. The shortstop comes, backs it up, and Nichols scores to make it 8-1 now. That'll be a base hit for Tanner Sears. RBI number 21 on the year. So 8-1 now. Here's Carlos Legrand, 0 for 1. He had a sac fly his last time up. Drove in a run, his 24th of the year. Trey Vorwald. The first pitch to him. It's the grounder. That's a fair ball. Cerna Jr. will score. Vorwald will head for third. And it's a double for Legrand there. And a 10-1 lead now for Central Methodist. Legrand now has 25 on the year. 9-1 Central Methodist. Conforti, 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. Conforti has 10 RBIs on the year. Still nobody out there. Why not? Second and third. And there's a strike call. 0-1 to count. Conforti has 10 RBIs on the year with a home run. Deal Lorenz on deck. Second and third. Around the Chicago area. Conforting the count of 1-1. If he puts it to the right side, not only you score Vorwall, but move Negron to third. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off 1-2 there. With Diego Del Ren on deck. One ball, two strikes. One-two pitch. I think, did he go? Did he check his swing? Let's see. No, sir, he did not. 2-2. 2-2 the count on Jeremy Conforte. Two and two the count. 2-2 pitch. That's outside. 3-2. 3-2 the count. Dale Wren's on deck. Oh, it's 3-2 pitch. It's a high fly ball. That is going to go foul. 3-2 the count there on Jeremy Conforte with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs on the day. Nobody out. Vorwall's at third. Second base is Negron. 3-2 pitch. Slices that one foul. Still 3-2. Bottom of the fourth inning, 9-1 Central Methodist. 2 in the first. Graceland had a run in the third, 4 in the third, and then 3 more already in the fourth inning. 3-2 to count. 3-2 pitch is ball 4. And Dale Wren is up there, 1 for 2 with a single and 2 RBIs on today. Gives him a total of 10. He knows. And that looks like a conference action. Maybe a call to bullpen there. Let's see. It is a call to bullpen. It is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. With the score, Central Methodist 9, Graceland 1. Oh, yeah. I know. I just looks like a new pitcher on the mound. Diego Tellez from Puerto Rico. 0-0. ERA 0. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. So if you look at the situation, you get the bases full of Eagles. Sears at third, Negron's at second, Conforte's at first. 9-1 now lead for Central Methodist.
That's a pinch runner at third. It's not Sears.
What? Vorwall, okay. So Vorwall's at third. Second base is Negron. At first base, Conforte. 9-1's our score. Central Methodist got 2 in the first. Graceland had a run in the third, and 4 more in the third, and then 4 more, and then now 3 more in the fourth inning for a 9-1 ball game. So Diego Duren is the batter. The bases are loaded full of Eagles. On just 4 hits already. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11 hits already for Central Methodist. Only 2 hits and 2 errors for Graceland. So Duran up the batter. 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Would it be sweet, his very first home run of the year would be a grand slam. Would that be exciting to watch? First pitch to him. There's a strike call. 0-1 now. No balls and one strike on Diego De Ren. Zeb Wheaties on deck from Harrisburg. 0-1 now. That's strike two on the outside corner. 0-2. Games 3 and 4 tomorrow at high noon, 11:45 pregame show. Escobar is warming up, getting some warm-up tosses in there. 0-2 pitch. Swings and misses. There's out number one. Everyone else stays put. Here's Zeb Weedy, 1 for 2 with a single. Two, three, four. Weedy, 1 for 2. Bases loaded full of Eagles. Four wall at third. Negron. Conforte. There's the pitch. That's on the inside corner. 0-1 there. The 8th man to bat this inning. Joseph Weatherford is on deck. The 0-1. Nice stop by the catcher. Boy, he does things well like Yogi Berra used to do for the New York Yankees. One and one to count. 1-1 pitch. Oh, nah. Misses that one. 2-1 there. One ball, 2 strikes on Zeb Weedy. 9-1 Central Methodist. 2-1 pitch. It's a fly ball in the center field. Center fielder makes the catch for out number 2. Vorwall will score. Head to third is Negron to make it 10-1 now. So a sac fly, RBI. And for Weedy, he has a total of 10 on the year. So Weatherford up the bat, 0 for 2 on the day. 10 runs, 11 hits for Central Methodist. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors for Graceland. The first pitch. Oh, nice stop there by the catcher. He is the 9th man to bat this inning. Soriano is on deck. He started that 4th inning off with the single. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 now. Oh, it's yeah. 1-1 to count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Checks the runner, and there's a base hit there. Negron will score. Here's Weatherford digging for 2, and he's in there. And also coming in to score is Jeremy Conforti to make it 12-1. So it'll be a single and then 2 RBIs. Take second on the throw. And here's David Soriano. He started the 4th inning off with a single. 6 big runs there. 2, 3, 4, 5 hits already. 12 hits already for Central Methodist. Weatherford's at second. And the pitch to him. Oh, nice stop by the catcher. 1-0 to count. On deck is Bobby Nichols. 12-1 now. Remember last Sunday against Columbia College, they scored 22 runs. The 1-0. That's a nice stop by the catcher. 2-0 to count. The 10th man to bat. 12 hits already for Central Methodist. The 2-0. Hits a high fly ball in the right field. Right fielder has some room. Now he looks back, and it's gone. A 2-run homer for David Soriano. And suddenly Central Methodist has a 14-1 lead. And Soriano's second of the year, RBI number 6. 14-1 Central Methodist on a 2-run homer in the right field. Here's Bobby Nichols. 2 for 3 with 2 singles. And 2 runs scored. The 11th man to bat this inning. 8 big runs there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 hits. The 1-0. There's a strike call. 1-1 now. Valentin Cerna Jr. is on deck. The 1-1. 2-1 to count. One, 2-1 to count on Bobby Nichols. Swing and a miss. 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 to count on Bobby Nichols. Two pitch. It's a high fly ball. Let's see who calls for it. There's the third out there. So 8 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, no one let on. 11 men went to the plate. We're through 4. Central Methodist 14, Graceland 1.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Oh, no. 14 runs, 13 hits, no errors for Central Methodist, 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors for Graceland. And as Randy Diaz up there, he struck out his first time up. Sebastian Escobar has a 13-run lead to work with. And he fires. There's a strike call, 0-1 now. Diaz is from the Bronx, home of the New York Yankees. 0-1 to count. Hits a little cue shot. Nice stop by Valentin Cerna Jr. to throw in time. As Mel Allen would say, this week at baseball, how about that? There's Juan Guzman. He drew a walk his first time up. First pitch to him. Hits the ground ball. Soriano has it. Throw to first. There's another 2 quick outs. As the great Mel Allen would say, how about that? So 2 quick outs now for William Pagan. He struck out his first time up. Last 1, 2, 3 inning came in the second inning. That's when he set down the first 7. First pitch. Oh, that's a ball outside. 1-0 to count. One and 0 to count. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 to count. Looks like the NHL game between Florida and Detroit is getting started on ABC television down at the Little Caesar Arena. 2-1 pitch. Here's a little cue shot to Valentin Cerner Jr. Charges, throws the scoop in time, as Mel Allen would say. How about that? A 1-2-3 inning on 3 groundouts. No, we head to the bottom of the 5th. Central Methodist 14, Graceland 1. Handsome. Looks like number 8 pitching there. Mm-hmm.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Yellow Jackets, number 8, Simon Victoriano.
So new pitcher on mound, that's Simon Victoriano. 0-0, ERA 0, 1 walk, and a strikeout from the Dominican Republic. We head to the 5th inning. Central Methodist got 2 in the first. Then Graceland added 1 in the third. Then Central Methodist added 4 more in the third and 8 in the fourth. 8. Looks like some activity in the Central Methodist bullpen. One of them is throwing the football there. And catching it is Chase Dawson. And there you see the new, that looks like Alfred Uora warms up there as well. Here's Valentin Cerner Jr., 2 for 3, 2 singles, 3 runs scored. First pitch to him. That's a ball, 1-0 to count in the bottom of the 5th inning. Central Methodist in that inning, when they scored 8 runs, they sent 11 men went to the plate. 1-0 to count. The 1-0. 2-0 to count here. Oh, Central Methodist trying to go for win number 12, but most importantly, start off the conference season 1-0. 2-0 pitch. Oh, swing and a miss. 2-1 there. 2-1 to count. Oh, 2-1 to count. 2-1 pitch. Hits the ground ball to the second baseman. Throws over the first. They're out number 1. So 1 out now for Tanner Sears, who is 1 for 2 with a single and RBI. First pitch to him. That's a strike call inside. 0-1. 21 RBIs for Tanner Sears. 0-1 to count. 0-1 now. That is a ball, 1-1 now. Looks like we'll have probably about a 25-minute break in between games of the doubleheader. 1-1 the count. The 1-1 fouls it off 1-2. And I believe maybe Marcus Pritchard may start game number 2. One and two the count there. Softball should be getting away in about 8 minutes down in Gulf Shores against William Carey. Softball is 9-2. Next home game on Thursday against St. Mary. Fouls it off 1-2 there. Now, Fridays could be questionable against Williams Baptist. According to Channel 8, they're calling for rain at 60%. 1-2 the count. 1-2 pitch. That's strike 3 call, so 2 quick outs now for Carlos Negron. 1 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs. The first pitch to him. That's a strike call. 0-1 to count there. 0-1 to count. 0-1 is the count on the Negron. Oh, yeah. It's a little pop-up foul. 0-2. You know. Awesome. Looks like activity in the Central Methodist bullpen. We're not sure yet, but I know one time as Alfred Uora was warming up. I believe that is still him. 0-2 pitch. Hits a high fly ball in the left field over the Green Monster. It's off the Green Monster. He is thinking 2. Here's the throw. He stumbles, and they got him. Boy, he took a good effort there. So it is a single. Then he was thrown out trying to stretch it to a double. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave no one. We head to the 6th inning. Central Methodist 14, Graceland 1. That's Dominic Van Dorn, the new catch. So a new pitcher on that, Alfred Yola from San Domingo, Dominican Republic. 0-0 with a 10.13 ERA with a walk and 3 strikeouts. A new catcher, that's Dominic Van Dorn. He is from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. And I've been told he is a big fan of the Detroit Red Wings. Hopefully we'll give you a score on the Detroit-Florida game on ABC television. 14 runs, 14 hits, no errors for Central Methodist. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors for Graceland. As Keith Whitaker up there, 1 for 2 with a double and an RBI. First of 2 today, as Ernie Banks will say, let's play 2. And why not on this beautiful day in the top of the 6th inning? Yora's first pitch. That's a foul ball, strike 1. On 1 to count there. Oh, it's going good. 0-1 to count. That's a ball. 1-1 to count. One and one to count. On Keith Whitaker. 1-1 pitch. It's a fly ball in the center field. Going back is Nichols. Oh, nice effort there. Whitaker is thinking 3. Here's the throw. Kind of get away, but it's a triple for Keith Whitaker. What a good effort there by Bobby Nichols trying to haul it in. But couldn't get to it there, but it's a triple. Jacob Lopez 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Boy, he sent that one for a ride, and Nichols came within maybe 3 inches. First pitch to Lopez. Nice stop by Dominic Van Dorn for a ball. Oh, it's going. 1-0 to count. The 1-0 pitch. There's a strike, 1-1 there. On deck, Zach Tanabe. 1-1 pitch. Oh, nice stop by Dominic Van Dorn. Boy, he directs traffic like a great Detroit Tiger catcher named Lance Parrish, who was drafted by the Detroit Tigers back in 1974. Two and one to count. 2-1 pitch. Here's a cue shot. There's a base hit. Whitaker will score. And it's now 14-2. For Lopez, that's 6 RBIs on the year.
Shortstop, number 9,
Zach Tanabe 0 for 2 on today. First pitch. Oh, nice stop by Dominic Van Dorn. Boy, he smothers things up there like a hockey goalie does. And we'll take time here as it looks like Nate Breland wants to come out there and talk.
Bales takes this shot, whips it in, and it's in the back of the net!
Still warming up. I'm wondering if he'll probably be getting some warm-up tosses in before he starts getting number 2 there. So at first base, it is Jacob Lopez. Tanabe's at bat with a count of 1-0. That's inside, 2-0 to count. Still nobody out. 14-2, Central Methodist. 2 in the second, 4 in the third, 8 in the fourth inning. Strike, 2-1 in the count. Hilero Navarez is on deck. 2-1 to count on Zach Tanabe. Oh, nice job of framing it. Just like as the great Joe Garagiola used to say on NBC television. That is called framing the outside corners. 2-2 the count. 2-2 pitch. Oh, nice stop there. Takes off for second. The throw, I think they got him. Yes, sir, he did. Boy, he could throw it like Johnny Bench used to do that a lot for the Cincinnati Reds. Well, Johnny Bench was one of the best catchers in the business, and the count is 2-2. On Zach Tanabe. That's a big out there. 2-2 pitch. It's a chopper to third. Nice job by Diorin to throw the Weatherford in time. 2 outs there. And as the great Mel Allen would say, how about that? Here's Elio Navarez, 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch to him. That is a strike call, 0-1 there. And you know the second game starts at 3:30, but the way it looks, we may start early, which that's fine by me. 0-1 to count. That's inside, 1-1 there. With J.D. Woodworth on deck. 1-1 pitch. Hits the fly ball to center field. Nichols will have room for the third out. So 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. No one on top. Bottom of the 6th. Central Methodist 14. Graceland 2. Let's see how the NHL game we got going on here. Why not? That's 35. Yeah, that's.
Number 35, Christian Cardigan.
So new pitcher is Christian Cardigan. New pitcher on the mound. Looks like just underway, top of the first inning. Cardigan is from Ketika, Hawaii, around the Honolulu area. Also, 11:19 to go in the first period. Florida 0, Detroit nothing. On ABC television, the NHL Game of the Week. Also, this coming Thursday, another NHL game. The St. Louis Blues will be taking on the New Jersey Devils. 6 o'clock p.m. start time on ESPN television. And then next Saturday at 11:30, the Carolina Hurricane takes on the New Jersey Devils. Drop of the puck at 11 a.m. Conforti, 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. 10 RBIs on the year. First pitch to him. That is a strike call, 0-1 to count. No balls and 1 strike. 0-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball to left field. Going back, away, back, and gone. For Conforti, that's his second year. RBI number 11. 4 RBIs on the day, and it's a 15-2. Lean for Central Methodist. Fifth. 15-2. And here's Diego Duran, 1 for 3 with a single and 2 RBIs. 15-2. And the pitch to him. That is a strike call, 0-1 to count there. Zeb Weedy's on deck. 5 solid innings for Sebastian Escobar. Marcus Pritchard's warming up. He may start game 2. Ball 1-1 there. Oh, yeah. 1-1 to count. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. 2-1 the count. Two balls and 1 strike on Diego Duran, sporting those pink gloves. Fouls it to the screen, 2-2. If Harry Carey was still doing the play-by-play, I bet he would try to catch it in his net. He used to do that a lot at Wrigley Field. I think I've seen him catch one a few times on WGN television. Two-two pitch. Ball 3, 3-2 to count. Zeb Weedy is on deck. Three-two pitch. Hits a ground ball to third. Third baseman has it. Throws to first for out number 1. 1 out now for Zeb Weedy. 1 for 2 with an RBI and a single. I think there's a good possibility. Bet you Jeremy Conforti could be in the running for the Heartbreaker Conference Player of the Week. They'll probably announce it on Monday. One out now, and the pitch to him. That's a ball, 1-0 to count there. On deck is Joseph Weatherford. Excuse me. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 to count. If everything goes according to plan, Central Methodist will be 12-3 and start the conference season 1-0. Ranked number 22 in the nation, but with the victory over Missouri Baptist and a good start there, they could be in the top 15 when the polls come out there. There's a high fly ball in the left field. Left fielder has some room to make the catch for out number 2. So 2 outs now for Joseph Weatherford. 1 for 3 with a single and 2 RBIs there. Excuse me. Weatherford has 6 RBIs on the year, and I know his dad, Steve, is listening in. Had a great visit with him last Sunday afternoon in between games between Oklahoma City and Columbia College. And the pitch to him. That is a ball, 1-0 to count. On deck is David Soriano. Now they're trying to get an explanation, but the count is 1-0 on Joseph Weatherford. From Flower Mound, Texas, but Steve told me they live in Batesville. Batesville, Arkansas. A little bit inside. I think he got hit by a pitch. Yes, sir, he did. There's David Soriano, 2 for 3, a single, a homer, and 2 RBIs on the year. Soriano has 2 homers, 6 RBIs on the year. Heading toward the 10-minute mark of the first period. Still no score between Florida and Detroit. Looks like Nick Tampa is the courtesy runner. He is from a town of Alcuin, Illinois, around the area of Crystal Lake, Illinois. Beautiful area. I remember going there. It's been almost 40 years since I've been to Crystal Lake. In the same area where my cousin Scott lives. And I'm sure my cousin Scott's listening in there. I want to say hi to him. First pitch to him. A swing and a miss on David Soriano. 1-1 to count. Tampa, the courtesy runner for Weatherford, who was hit by a pitch. Oh, 1 to count. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes on David Soriano. Great crowd on hand, 40,212. Millions are watching on television across the world. 0-2 pitch. 1-2 the count. Here at Estes Field, shivering with its concrete foundations. 1-2 the count. Game number 2 of the fall, even though it's scheduled for 3:30, but it may start a little early. Strike 3 call, so no 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We are through 6. Central Methodist 15, Graceland 2 on the Hart Conference Network. New pitcher on the mound, Marcus Pritchard, 0-1, 7.5 ERA, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts from Winter Haven, Florida. And I'm sure his family is listening into the broadcast. I know I remember meeting his family last year at a Central Methodist game there as well. $15 runs, 15 hits, no errors for Central Methodist, 2 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for Graceland. It's the conference opener. Everybody else still in their same spot. As we head to the 7th inning now, it is J.D. Woodruff. 0 for 2 on today.
Third baseman, number 25, J.D. Woodruff.
From Crosby, Texas. First pitch from Marcus Pritchard. That is a ball high. 1-0. Where's number 22? Like another famous 22, the 1984 Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie from Boston College. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. 1-1 to count. 1-1 there on J.D. Woodruff. The 1-1. Ooh, little chin music, or as Dwight Gooden would call it, Uncle Charlie. It's 2:44 p.m. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Second game's supposed to start at 3:30, but we may start early. Maybe about 3:20 or so. 2-2 pitch. 3-2 now on J.D. Woodruff. Trevor Yorgies is on deck. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. So 1 down here in the 7th inning. Here's Trevor Yorgies. 0 for 2. Trevor Yorgis, 0 for 2. One out now. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Boy, the pitching staff has been on cruise control. Kept the hitters off balance all day. 1-1 to count. Central Methodist got 2 in the first. Graceland had 1 in the third. 4 in the third. 8 in the fourth. There's a high fly ball in the left field. Foul ball. 1-2 to count. But then Graceland added 1 more in the 6th. And then 1 more in the 6th for Central Methodist. To take a baker's dozen lead into the 7th inning with 1 out. And the count is 1-2 on Trevor Yorgies. On deck is Randy Diaz. 1-2 pitch. Hits the ground ball for Valentin Cerna Jr. Throws over to Joseph Weatherford for out number 2. So 2 quick outs now for Randy Diaz. 0 for 2 on today. Softball right now is still 0-0. Probably the bottom of the 1st inning. Down in Gulf Shores. First pitch. Misses inside, 1-0 now. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, 1-1 now. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 pitch. Oh, a swing and a miss. They're 1 strike away. In front of these 40,000 fans. 1-2 pitch. Lines a shot. That is a base hit. The 5th hit of the game for Graceland. And here's Juan Guzman. 0 for 1 with the walk.
Number 27, Juan Guzman.
5 hits now for Graceland. 1 more out to go. Pitch to him. And he slices that one foul. 0-1 to count. William Pagan is on deck. Way things are going, we could be done by 3 p.m. 0-1 now. 1-1 to count. 1 ball and a strike on Juan Guzman. The 1-1. 2-1 to count. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 to count. Nobody's in the Central Methodist bullpen. 2-1 to count. Fouls it to the screen. 2-2. 2's across the board there. 1 strike away. Estes Field shivering with its concrete foundation. 2-2 pitch. Here's the ground ball to Soriano. Throws over to Weatherford, and as the great Jack Buck would say, that is a winner, folks. The final score is Central Methodist 15, Graceland 2. 15 runs, 15 hits, no errors. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors. Central Methodist is 12-3, 1-0 in the conference. Graceland is 0-1, 8-6 altogether. We will start game number 2 for you in about 30 minutes or so. Quentin Norris saying so long. That's 7,300 of them. And now it's time for the Yogi Bear cartoon, where Yogi Bear meets the Little Red Riding Hood.